Budget Bunny here with part 2 of our Q&A segment. I'll leave a little link box here now so that you can click to go to part 1 if you haven't watched it already. And I'm just going to start right into the next set of questions. Brennan G asks, is it normal for my cat to be mortified of my Holland Lop? All animals kind of react differently. Cats are a predator animal and rabbits are a prey species, but that's out in the wild. Both cats and rabbits still have some of their natural instincts, but because they've been domesticated so long, and depending on how your cat lives, for instance, my cats are house cats, so I don't find that they have any of their instincts, whereas our one cat, Callie, that we brought in last year was an outside stray fending for herself. So I do find she has more of those predatory instincts that the other two don't. So I wouldn't say that it's abnormal for your cat to be scared of your rabbit. I would just say to monitor them, because you wouldn't want your rabbit to be curious and kind of corner your cat to be really, really scared and then attack your rabbit out of fear. That's the only thing I would be concerned about. Brittany Doig asks, are bunnies expensive? Bunnies, there are several ways you can cut down on costs. If you go to our website, BudgetBunny.ca, we have a whole section on DIY toys that you can make out of materials you find around the house or at inexpensive places like the dollar store. We also have a section on DIY housing. So we built our rabbit condos that have been featured in tons of previous videos of ours for less money than a pet shop cage, and pet shop cages are way too small to house a rabbit. So not only were these condos exceeding the minimum requirements for a rabbit, but they were so much cheaper to build and gave them a lot more space. Something like buying, if you can find a farm source to purchase farm fresh Timothy hay for your rabbits instead of purchasing pet shop hay, that would really cut down on costs. So really the only thing that I buy every month are pellets. So a bag of pellets is about $16 and lasts me about a month here. My hay does come from a farm, and I purchase bales of hay. A bale of hay lasts our 4 rabbits and 2 guinea pigs just over a month, and it's about $12 a bale. And those are really the only set costs that I have. Now, the issue is, what if your rabbit needs to go to the vet? You need to consider the fact that they are exotic animals, so you will be charged an exotic exam fee. So it is $40 for my dogs to go to the vet for their exam fee, but it's $75 for one of my rabbits to go to the vet because you need a specialized vet, so they charge more to see your rabbit. The other thing is that they need to be spayed and neutered, and that can range anywhere from $150 to $400. So they can be expensive. There are initial costs. There are ways to cut down on costs, like I mentioned, making your own toys, building your own housing structures and things like that. But I wouldn't say they're a cheap animal by any means, because you know, their health and happiness always is the most important thing. And you may find that you don't need to take your rabbit to the vet for years, and other people may find that their rabbit's in and out of the vets all the time. So that's just something to consider. They're definitely more of a specialized pet, so they can get expensive very quickly. Belle's Bunny's Business says, should I get a friend for my new bunny? So there are so many things to consider when looking at adding a rabbit to your family, especially if you already have a rabbit. The first is that both rabbits need to be spayed and neutered before they're introduced to one another, and they need to be spayed and neutered for at least 6 to 8 weeks prior to being introduced, so there's time for their hormones to die down. They also need to be introduced on neutral territory. Male and female bonds seem to work the best, but that doesn't mean that two males and two females can't get along. It's just, it's a harder bond to make. The other thing is that all rabbits have their own personalities just like people. So no matter how hard you try, you could potentially find that your two rabbits just don't get along. And in that case, you need to think ahead of time about, do I have space for the second rabbit, for a second pen, for additional floor time for that rabbit? Can you provide the companionship that that other rabbit's going to need, because you'll be splitting your time in half? What I would recommend is maybe looking at somewhere like a rescue or a shelter. A lot of them will include spaying and neutering in their adoption fee, so they're already fixed. And a lot of them offer a bunny dating service. So basically you would bring your rabbit to that rescue or shelter. They try to pair your rabbit up with different rabbits they have there that are looking for their loving forever home, and will pair one up that suits your rabbit. So that way, not only are you rescuing and saving the life of another bunny in need, but you also know that both of the rabbits are going to get along before you get them into your house. Kimmy C has some questions about her sister's new rabbit named Duchess. And she asks, how can I bond with the bunny if I do not live in the same household? How will the rabbit get used to me? And she also asks, is it a good thing that on my first day of seeing the rabbit, she was eating pellets out of my palm? So I definitely think that most animals' hearts are through their stomach, and it's great that she was already eating pellets from you. I would continue to do that when you go over. Spend a lot of time with her when you're there. Sit on the floor. Let her come to you when she feels comfortable, and feed her whatever her favorite, fresh herbs or veggies are. Make sure to have those in hand to encourage her to come see you, and eventually she will get used to you. She might not have a really strong bond with you if you don't visit often, because you won't have that constant interaction with her. And but I think it's great that she's already eating pellets out of your palm, because that's a big trust kind of issue right there. So, well, not a trust issue, but it can be hard to get a prey animal to start coming to you and eating directly from you, and that usually takes a lot of time. The other thing is, if you have pets at home, especially cats or dogs, like predator animals, I would just make sure that you put on like kind of a fresh set of clothing and wash your hands before you go over to your sister's, just so that that scent isn't on you to freak her out. She also says, my other sister has a roommate with 2 cats. Is it okay to use the same toys the rabbit has used with the cats? If they're all in the same household and are going to be kind of in contact with one another, and both the cats are in good health, I don't really see that being an issue. I typically kind of wash down plastic toys when I'm swapping them between rabbit cages and things like that. But if one of them had something contagious and it's in the same household, chances are they could kind of get it anyways. So I would just say, give the toys a quick wash before you put them into the rabbit's cage, but they should be okay. How old does a rabbit need to be fixed and eat veggies? So typically you can start introducing veggies around 3 to 4 months. I suggest beginning with herbs, just because they're a lot gentler on a rabbit's stomach, and they also have such an aroma to them that they really entice the rabbit. So our rabbits love cilantro and dill, so you could try feeding just small amounts of those first and see how her stomach handles them. If they're okay, then you can start feeding a little larger quantities, start trying a few different veggies. I do have a video on vegetables in your rabbit that I suggest checking out. And as far as how old a rabbit needs to be fixed, that's mostly dependent on what your rabbit savvy vet says, but typically around 6 months is the normal age. And finally, she says, if rabbits are ground animals, are they still on the ground if they are on a sofa laying down? Most rabbits are comfortable as long as all 4 feet are firmly on a surface. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the floor of the house. Mine seem perfectly comfortable when they're on the couch or on our bed because they can walk around. It's when they're in the air in somebody's arms that typically they get kind of nervous. But some rabbits still prefer to know that they're on the lowest level they can be on. So some bunnies may not want to be on the couch when other rabbits are perfectly comfortable on it. It just depends on the rabbits. Scented Flower asks, what was your first pet? So my first family pet would have been my Afghan hound, which is a type of dog, and his name was Alfie. My parents actually had him when I was born because they got him when they got married. The first pet that I purchased on my own would have been my tropical fish. For my 13th or 14th birthday, I saved up all my money and I bought a 30-gallon fish tank, and I had tropical fish for years that I cared for on my own. But my first pet when I moved out and also had my first home would have been my hamster Kelvin. So that's kind of a tricky question, I guess, because there's been a lot of firsts. What is your favorite breed? I don't have a favorite breed of rabbit. I love all rabbits. Which is your favorite bunny, or do you love them all equally? I definitely love all of my rabbits equally. I love them all for different reasons. All four of them have very different personalities, which I thoroughly enjoy, and they're just so comical and loving. I do feel I have a closer bond with Ollie just because I've spent so much time nursing him back to health when he's under the weather, and my other three rabbits, very fortunately, have been very healthy rabbits and not had any health conditions like Ollie has had. So to me, I do feel that him and I have a bit of a closer bond, but it definitely doesn't mean that I love him more. They also ask, how do your bunnies get along with other pets? Our rabbits seem to get along really well with the other pets. They've been fine with the guinea pigs, although I don't really encourage anyone to put them together, but sometimes I'll have the guinea pig's pen set up, and the pen is in the same area the rabbit's floor time is in, and sometimes the rabbits will just hop in and out of there, and they seem fine with the guinea pigs. They seem fine with our cats. They don't seem to care about the cats. The only animals they get nervous around are our dogs. Our dogs are good with them, but I would never ever leave them unattended just because our dogs are very, very playful. And even if they weren't bothering the rabbits, when they get playing around here, they're not watching where they're going, and I'd be too scared they would step or hop on the rabbits. So I do find the bunnies get kind of uncomfortable, except for Ollie, who absolutely adores Murray. But they do feel kind of skittish and uncomfortable around the dogs, which is why we keep the rabbits on a separate floor in our house than the dogs. Hannah's Pets 2 asks, what is your favorite rabbit product you have ever bought? I would definitely say that anything Willow is a huge hit around here. The rabbits love Willow products. They love to chew on them, to wreck them, to destroy them. You can stuff hay and things like Willow balls or put some other treats in there too. So unfortunately, Willow is a bit of a pricey product, but I absolutely love them, and they're all natural as well. What tips would you give to people who want to grow their channel on YouTube? So I would definitely say to try to post good quality videos. I find that people don't really like shaky cameras, poor lighting, those kind of things. So if you have kind of well lit and can use a tripod, or try to keep your hand steady, or put your camera on a flat surface so it's not really moving, I think that definitely helps, as well as good quality. And just make videos about what you're passionate about. Don't worry about your subscribers. They will come. The first year or so, I think I only had maybe 25 or 50 subscribers, but I just posted videos because I wanted to post them and not because I was concerned about who's following. And the more subscribers that you get, the more your name gets out there, and you'll notice that the bigger you grow, the faster it continues to grow. So I would just make videos about what you're passionate about. It should be something fun. It shouldn't be a hobby for you or a chore. And eventually you're going to gain those subscribers and gain those followers. And yeah, so that's what I would have to say. Oh, I would also say to be polite. You know, starting fights or getting into fights, being nasty, those don't really get you anywhere. You'll get a lot further being nice to people than being mean. So I would definitely say just to be a positive person and be friendly to everyone on here. And then finally she says, why are your pets so cute? Oh, I have no idea, but they are all flippin' adorable, aren't they? That's why I just love animals in general, because they're all so adorable. Holly Noons asked, have you had any other bunnies in the past? So in grade 1, we did have a class pet that was a rabbit, and I don't recommend that because it's not fair to the rabbit. You've got screaming 6-year-olds that are loud and noisy and grabbing and chasing, but this was a long time ago, and clearly I was not the teacher, so not much was known, I think, about rabbits and proper care back then. So I did get Tinkerbell for a weekend because every weekend a different kid got to take the rabbit home. And that's the closest I ever had to actually owning any previous rabbits before my 4. The Ag Bunny Gal asked, how does your family feel about all of your pets? So I think my family thinks I'm a little crazy to have so many pets, but at the same time I don't think they're very surprised because I've always loved animals. I've always wanted lots of animals, and I take good care of them, and they don't have to live with me. So I think that they just kind of think that I'm a little bit nutty, but they love me anyways. Shy Cat Manic says, what breeds do you recommend for first-time bunny owners? I really find having 4 rabbits that every rabbit has its own unique personality. They typically say the larger the rabbit, the more docile it is, and they also say that lops have more of a kind of gentle temperament. But that being said, I have 2 lops with completely different personalities, and Honey is anything but docile and, you know, sweet. I absolutely love her, but she's not like that at all, whereas Ollie is kind of the typical Holland Lop personality. So I would just say to go to a rescue or a shelter and, you know, have a look, interact with some of the rabbits and see which one suits you and your kind of what you envision for your bunny first before bringing it home. And you also ask, what are your bunny's personalities like? So Willow is kind of the clown. She's always got us laughing because she loves to run and play. I've never seen a rabbit zip around the house happily as much as her. She's always binkying. She does the silliest little flops, and I just adore her. She's definitely the clown. Ollie is just so sweet and so loving. He's a charmer. Like he does whatever he can to get food from you, which is really cute. So he's always all over me. He's hopping in my lap. He wants pets and snuggles, but ideally he wants food. Rocky is also like kind of in between Willow and Ollie a bit. He loves to do binkies and be a little silly, but he's a big mama's boy. When he hasn't spent enough time with me, even though he's fully bonded to Honey, he will sulk. And if I open up the cage of the condo or their pennant right now and he's kind of grumpy with me, he'll hop right in my lap and he just wants a big cuddle. So he's a huge mama's boy. And Honey is the queen bee. She is a bossy, sassy little lady. She's full of attitude. She loves to thump and tell you that, you know, what you're doing isn't right. Everything is on her terms, and I love her for that. She's got so much sass to her. It's really funny. Dana Schamberg asks, what toys, food, treats have you found that all of your buns enjoy? So I would definitely say again, that willow toys, anything that's natural willow, all 4 of my rabbits love. Ollie's not much of a chewer, but I do really find that he will like those. I also find they all love large plastic balls, like the balls you would give a cat, but there are oversized ones. I find they really like those with the little bell inside. I know all 4 of them have played with those before and seem to really enjoy them. As for treats, I don't really feed mine treats that often. I would recommend any kind of dried forage mix. So in Canada, the Living World green salads my rabbits all seem to like. I think it's Burgess Excel or Rosewood. The Boredom Breakers kind of forage treats are good as well because it's all like healthy mixes, but they really enjoy all the different dried leaves and herbs and things in those. And the only real treat we feed around here are the Martin Mills banana muffin treats, and they absolutely love those. Neon Hamster asks, what's your favorite store to shop at for your pets? And it doesn't have to be a pet store. So I would definitely say Dollarama, which is a chain of dollar stores in Canada. I get my pet tunnels from there, my pet beds from there. They have a lot of toys like the plastic jingle bells. I find all different things at the dollar store. Or I find little like untreated wooden bits and things that you could make DIY toys out of. So that is definitely my favorite store to shop at. And my favorite store that is a pet store would definitely be PetSmart. Not the smaller ones. We have a couple smaller ones near us, but I find the smaller ones are all cat and dog based. Like they'll have a very small section for small pets. But I absolutely love going to the large one that's about half an hour away from us and shopping there because they just have such a big selection. And it's just fun to go see and find different things for the pets. My top 5 bunny toys and chews. I would have to say all natural apple twigs. So my aunt and uncle have an apple tree in their backyard that they don't treat with any kind of pesticides or chemicals. So that would definitely be one. Any kind of willow products are another. Hay or grass mats are great as well. Toys, I'd have to say like the plastic toy jingle bells are awesome. The cat tunnels I get from the dollar store are a must-have. Like I couldn't live without those. Our rabbits just love them, and I connect them together into different tunnel systems and things as well. And they're so cheap, so when they get wrecked, I can just chuck them and get new ones. I think that's 5. Oh, Willow absolutely loves her plastic dumbbell toy that you guys have probably seen in cage tours. I think this puts me at 6 bunny toys and chews. But she couldn't live without that toy. That is her favorite toy. The other rabbits seem to enjoy that one as well, but that's her favorite, so I absolutely love those. If you had $1 million, what would you spend it on? If I just had $1 million extra hanging around, then some of it would definitely go to our family. We would divide it up and give it to different family members. We would donate some of it to charities that we're passionate about for sure. So places like the Humane Society and some rescues. There's also some cancer charities and things that are close to our hearts as well. I'm sure we would go on some vacations and, you know, spoil the pets. I would love to have a rescue of my own, but I don't know that I would be the right person to run it, because as much as I'm passionate about animals, I can't even be in the vet office when they're, you know, getting exams or shots or anything, or vaccine stuff like that. Just because even though they're helping them, I just can't see my animals in any kind of discomfort or pain. And some of the situations they rescue from are just despicable, and I don't think I could emotionally handle that. But I would love to have the money to kind of open my heart more so to fostering and things like that as well, and just spoiling the pets like crazy. Alright guys, so that's all I have time for today. I will try to get the next segment up soon, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye!